Hiring good people feels harder than ever. You're doing all of the things, you're trying to interview well, asking the questions, but still, you somehow end up hiring the wrong people. If you're a small business owner, you are not alone. But the problem isn't the role, it's not even the candidate. The problem starts with a lack of clarity. In this video, I'm going to walk through why you keep hiring the wrong people and the 3 mindset shifts you can make in order to change this for good. I'm going to show you a really simple framework that gives you complete clarity on how to hire and how to build the best team for your business. If we haven't met yet, I'm Amy. I'm a small business hiring strategist, and I help small business owners go from struggling with turnover, hiring, misalignment, to hiring with clarity, confidence, and building an amazing team. So there's really 3 major reasons why you keep hiring the wrong people. And the first reason is you haven't clearly defined who you're looking for. Most business owners will define the role, but they won't define the person. And it's the person who actually shows up and works for you. So it's really important that we get very clear around who it is that we actually want showing up, who it is that we actually want engaging with our customers, who it is that's going to be the most aligned to deliver the experience that we're trying to deliver. Most times in the hiring process, the business owner is going to look at what are the functions, role responsibilities that I need in order to make something happen. And so they're just looking at qualifications, they're just looking at skills. But the problem is there's so much more to your business than that. And not everybody is going to fit within the way that you do business, within the way that you operate. Not everybody is going to be motivated by the same things you're motivated by. Not everyone is going to care about the same things that you care about. And so it's important to first define what is it that defines your business? What is it that defines your brand? Why do your customers come to you? Why do they choose you over your competitors? What is your sweet spot as a business? And then what we want to do is we want to attract people into that actually align within that sweet spot. We want to attract people who care about the things we care about, who are motivated by the same things, who get excited about the same things. So that way, when we bring this team together, we're bringing in people where they can trust each other, where they can work well together, where they can have fun together, because it's that team dynamic and the way people interact. That's really what's going to define how your business is able to move forward, the things that you're able to achieve, because you need amazing people who can work well together in order to accomplish the things in your business that you really want to accomplish. So when it comes to defining your brand sweet spot and the types of people you really need in your organization, there's really 4 areas that we need to define. So before we even go any further, there is a link in the description below that is going to walk you through exactly how to define these elements. It's a free guide. It's how to have ultimate clarity around exactly who you need in order to build the best team. So these 4 areas that you need to define, the first one is core values. So what are the values that drive your business? And you need to have these values because these values actually ensure and determine the type of experience that your customers are going to have. It's going to guide how you operate as a business, how you interact in specific situations. And not everybody values the same thing. So it's really important to find people who share our values, because then we're in alignment and we're not creating internal friction, which is where dysfunction, where turnover, where a lack of engagement really starts to breed. The next thing we have to define is what are the personality traits of the people that we need in our organization. So everybody has inherent characteristics, inherent personality traits, the way that their brain works. And you are not a one size fits all. Your business is not a one size fits all. So to do this, you're looking at the people who work for you today, who are your best employees, and what makes them great. What about yourself? What are the characteristics that you have in your own personality and the way that you show up that really drive excellence in your business? What are the attributes of people that we want more of in the business. The next thing we need to define is the work style. What's your work style within your business? What's the style, the environment, the energy, the pace that your business needs in order to operate at its highest level, in order to deliver the highest level of service to your customers? Are you someone who is slow and methodical, detail-oriented, black and white? Or are you a business that thrives on creativity? You guys are fast-paced, high energy. These are two very different environments, and not everybody thrives in these environments. People can function, but they don't necessarily thrive. And we're looking for people who are like, yes, that's where I do my best work. That's how I do my best work. We want those people in your organization. But unless you're clear about what that is, you're not going to be able to communicate it in your process, and you're not going to be able to determine whether or not that person is going to fit. And the fourth thing we need to identify is, what are our non-negotiables? What are the things that we say, that's a deal breaker for us? We don't have room for that in our organization. So these can be things like, we don't have room for people who are selfish. We don't have room for people who gossip. We don't have room for people who show up late. We don't have room for people who don't take accountability. By defining this, you're actually putting this on your radar. You're actually like drawing your mind's attention to it. And in that interview process, you're going to ask different questions. You're going to look through a different lens to make sure that they don't have these specific traits that I don't want to have to deal with that. Because people are your greatest asset, and the hiring process really is your greatest leverage. That's when you have all the control. That's when you have all the opportunity to really make sure that the people that you bring on board are really going to add the most value to your business. And so how we structure this process is everything. That brings us to issue number 2, and the reason that you're not hiring the right people is because you don't have a hiring process that's really doing the heavy lifting for you. When you structure your process intentionally, strategically, specifically, your process is really built to attract the right people. It's built to filter, it's built to qualify, it's built to clarify, so that at the end of it, it's a black and white answer, and you can confidently make the right decision that says, yes, this person is who I need to hire, or no, this person is not who I need to hire. So what most business owners do, they just kind of ask popular questions, random questions that they think sound good, that think will give them the information that they're looking for, but it's not strategic. You're not super clear on what is it that I'm looking for, and what questions can I ask that's really going to give me the answer to this information. And before we even get to the interview process, the clarity that we first established on who it is we're looking for, that's actually going to shape how we message in our recruiting process. It's going to shape what we put in our job descriptions. It's going to shape what we put in our recruiting ads. It's going to shape what we put on our careers page, because we want messaging that resonates and speaks to the right people on a deeper level. It's not about trying to catch anyone and everybody, and it's not about just putting a job out there. It's really about strategically aligning your messaging so that it acts more like a sales process, so that it acts more like the same process you would use to attract an ideal customer. We're going to use that same mindset, that same methodology to attract ideal candidates, which means we're not using a generic job description. We're not just posting the roles and the job duties and functions and the requirements that are out there. This is a conversation. It's a touch point. It's the beginning of a funnel. It's the beginning of a relationship. So what we say is going to pre-qualify and pre-filter who actually ends up applying. So then they're going to come into our interview process, and the recruiting process should have pre-filtered them a little bit prior to this. And then when they're in our interview process, we're going to be asking specific questions along the lines of, do they fit for the job role that we're hiring them for? Are they uniquely gifted? Do they have the natural capacity to really thrive in this role? And this doesn't mean that they have to have that job experience. It means that they have the innate mindsets, giftings, their brain is wired. They're going to learn fast because they're meant and designed to learn fast for that specific role. So we want to make sure that they're going to thrive in the role. They're going to find purpose and meaning in the work that they're doing because they can contribute at a really high level. And that's going to make a huge difference for your business. The second thing that we need to determine through our questions is, are they the right fit? So we're looking at those non-negotiables, we're looking at those core values, we're looking at those winning personality traits and that work style. And do you see how that's going to totally change the questions that you're going to ask? Because by the end of it, you need to know, are they going to fit or are they not going to fit? So by having all of this predetermined, every time we walk into an interview, we're not rebuilding the process. We're actually just following a process that's already been established, that's consistently giving us the same results every single time. We're not winging it. We're not guessing. We know exactly what we're looking for. We know exactly what to say. We know exactly what questions to ask. And every time it's going to give us a clear answer on whether that person is going to be the right hire or the wrong hire. This leads us into the third thing that business owners get wrong, which lead them to making a wrong hire, is they don't have that black and white decision filter. They don't have that tool or that form or that built-in process that says yes or no. So we actually use a candidate alignment evaluation form that builds in these core values, it builds in these non-negotiables, these winning personality traits, and the working style, and also that natural capacity to excel. We know the questions that we're going to ask, and it's a framework, it's a filter that really does the work for you, and it leaves you with a black and white answer of, does this person fit? If so, here's where we think they're going to thrive. Or does this person not fit? And then it actually pinpoints exactly why they don't fit, exactly why that wouldn't be a great decision. And it leaves you with confidence and peace knowing that, okay, I'm going to make this offer and I'm going to be 100% excited knowing that, to the best of my knowledge and the best of my ability, and the conversations that we've had, which has been real, we've gotten into it. I know what motivates this person, what drives this person. I know what this person cares about because we ask these questions. Then I can confidently say, yes, this is going to be a great fit. Or you're going to pass and you're going to have no guilt. You're going to have no regrets because you're like, nope, that person was not going to fit. And it's just going to save you so much pain. It's going to save you so much time. It's going to save you thousands of dollars down the road because you didn't make that decision. You didn't move forward. You didn't just give them a chance. You didn't just be like, well, let's just see how it plays out. Because every time you make a decision like that, it costs you. There's a price that you pay in your business, in your time, in your mental energy that we want to avoid. So you can see how this process all comes back to clarity. We have to build the framework. We have to build the filter. We have to know what we need in our business in order to attract and filter and qualify and hire people who are gonna fit, because that's really gonna set the foundation for how they perform, for how long they stay, for our retention, and for what we're able to do, because we're building an amazing team. So make sure you download that guide that walks you through these step by steps so you have the clarity you need to make the most accurate and confident hiring decision you can. The guide gives you the step-by-step on how to define those core values, how to define those winning personality traits, your working style, and your non-negotiables. And bonus, we give you the candidate alignment evaluation tool that we use that's going to give you that confident black and white decision on whether or not you're gonna make a good hire or a wrong hire. In order to build the team you want, in order to have the retention you want, in order to be able to accomplish amazing things in your business, you need the right team of people. People really are your greatest asset, but it all comes back to the hiring process, and what you do in this process lays the foundation for what you're able to accomplish in your business.